I gave you my heart.
Welcome back to Retro Bucky. Today we're going to look at 7 games that are kind of odd that you wouldn't expect to find on the NES. We're not going to go through any particular order, and some of these games you may have not even heard of, but we're going to take a look at them, and they're definitely out there. So we're going to start with number 1, Taboo. Taboo is a pretty simple game. It's basically a fortune-telling game. It does card readings basically with tarot cards. You start by putting your name, your birthday, and whether you're male or female. And then it's going to switch over to another screen where you just put a long, lengthy question of what you want to ask. And I'm pretty serious about wanting to know if I'm going to find that Dr. Pepper. Get this cool psychedelic screen going on as it's shuffling up the tarot cards, and then it's going to end up laying it all out into a nice spread. And then one by one it's going to start showing you your tarot card reading, give you a nice little explanation on what each card means. Even after seeing all these cards, I can't tell you whether or not I'm going to get that Dr. Pepper. If you're into gambling, at the end you set up your state that you live in, how many numbers you want, and you can get some lucky numbers for the lottery. Next at number 2, we're going to look at Pinball Quest. And I've played some pinball games before on the NES, and they're actually kind of fun. They're not too bad. But this game, you have some modes, and a couple of them are normal pinball, but then they have like this weird RPG thing that I'm going to check out and see what you think. So as I said, you have a couple of different modes you can pick from, and each is its own theme, basically. The first one, Pop-Up, which kind of makes no sense. It's dealing with bowling, of all things. You make points by knocking out all the pins, you know, just rack up as many points as you can. It's just a pinball game. You're going to find this to be the same with the Golf, which is the second option. It's basically an interactive pinball game. And the last one is a circus game, basically. You have these nice little clown faces that you can hit to get some points, but it's basically just a pinball game. Then you get to the RPG, which, as you see, completely changes the whole dynamic here. And they kidnap the princess, and basically you're a pinball dude that's just trying to get the princess back. And it really is a pinball game. You go through this whole game playing normal pinball, but it gets a little more in depth, where you're actually using the pinball to attack enemies. And the graphics is actually pretty decent as far as the enemies goes and stuff like that. It's actually pretty decent. I mean, I would enjoy playing against these characters on a normal RPG game. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of MC Kids or Mick Kids, you know, the McDonald NES game, but very few people, even me, like I didn't know until recently, that there's another McDonald game called Donaldland, and it's kind of based on that early 80s, late 70s weird TV show here.
Celebrate cheeseburger time at McDonald's. Ronald was taking pictures of all his friends.
Okay, now smile and say cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger!
Very good. Here's a cheeseburger for you.
I don't know if this was intentionally supposed to be a McDonald's game, or if it was, but released in another country. As you see, you did have like Mayor Big Mac, or whatever the guy's name is. And you'll see a lot of characters in this game that are actually from that original show. So use cherry bombs to defeat the enemies. You collect as many burgers as you can, and that's pretty much the game at this point from what I played. Next at number 4, we have Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, and this is kind of an odd game as well. And if I understand, I think it's based off of a movie from the 70s. I personally haven't seen it. I'll see if I can't scrap up a clip and we'll drop it in right here.
Mrs. Williams, I understand your husband is missing.
Yes.
Do you think he's dead?
Well,
Will you miss him?
Well,
Will you marry again? What if he's laying in a ditch somewhere, like with both his legs calling your name? You will have to find another man, you know. You're no spring chicken.
Attack of the killer tomatoes. Attack of the killer tomatoes. You've never seen a film like it.
Have you ever seen something so stupid that is funny? That's kind of how that commercial was for me, or that trailer. The game is pretty straightforward. You're just squishing tomatoes. They're killer tomatoes trying to kill you, and you're trying to squish them. I haven't played through this whole game, just this first stage here, and I was actually lost and stuck because there's no explanation of what you're supposed to do in this stage other than kill tomatoes, so... And number 5, keeping on with the weird oddity games, this game is called B-52, and it's basically about a bumblebee. So you're a bumblebee killing other bugs, trying to survive to collect pollen from crawling inside of flowers. Which isn't too strange, but man, he's really digging into those flower buds though. So you use your stinger to stab the bugs, or you can spit little fireballs to kill them. So once you collect the pollen, you take it back home, collect your honey. That's pretty much the game. Next, at number 6, we have Bumping Sumo, which is basically self-explanatory. It's a sumo wrestling game. And basically it seems like it's only 2 buttons. I just keep tapping A and B back and forth, trying to push the fat dude off the side of the square. And yes, I can say fat because, hey, have you seen me? Push him out of the square circle, celebrate, and that's pretty much it. Next, at number 7, we have Soap Panic, also known as Bubble Bath Babes. And this is just one of those erotic games, no different than, you know, Hot Slots or... what's the other one? Peekaboo Poker. It's the same concept. Atari did the same thing with its X-rated games. I mean, so it's just an erotic game. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I had a really hard time paying attention to really get far in this game. I failed at it pretty quickly, if you can understand why. And there you have it, guys. 7 of the most oddest, strangest games you'll find on the NES. If you'd like to see a more in-depth review on one of these games, just leave a comment down below. Let me know which one of these titles you'd like me to do a thorough review on. Until next time, friends, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell notification so you never miss an update. Until next time, play games. Catch you later.
I gave you my heart.